we have invited a special guest.
I was 12 when I acted in Spellbinder. Audition, my mum said no. Maybe it'd be nice for her to try.
How was the response?
Very cool, so special. People started to write to me and say, "Are you Christine?" A goal of mine, a dream of mine to come to Sri Lanka.
Hi everyone, you are on DN one-on-one program. So basically, we are going to start our exclusive program. We have invited a special guest today to Lake House Digital Studios. Actually, you have known that Spellbinder Star, known as Christine Reynolds, in the drama name, and her actual name is Georgie Fisher. Georgie, welcome to Sri Lanka.
Hello, thank you.
And also welcome to Lake House Digital Studios. You've been warmly welcome here, and I think you're having a great time in Sri Lanka.
A great time in Sri Lanka. I'm so happy to be here.
Right. Actually, when we were school age, we used to watch Spellbinder, and it was such a hit in Sri Lanka. In the in the 1995, it was actually filmed, but in Sri Lanka, it was telecast in mid 2000, beginning of 2000, like that. So basically, when we were in grade 5 or 6, we used to watch that. So basically, we were fans first of all.
Nice.
Right. And Georgie, first of all, I would like to ask, what are the things that happening in these days in your professional field, and of course in Sri Lanka? What are plans?
Well, in the professional field these days, I'm a musician. I am a singer-songwriter. I play guitar. I'm based in Europe, and I do a lot of touring and traveling, play a lot of festivals in Europe. I work with my sister, who's a singer as well. We have a duo project, and we play a lot in Europe, and we're about to release our second album. It's coming out in April.
Right. Okay, so basically you tell that you were in Europe. You have settled yourself in Europe now?
Yes, I've been in Berlin a few years now.
That's quite exciting.
Yeah.
And when you play the role Christine, and we know all the characters, the Christine and the Paul, Rihanna and Ashka, and all the characters. And I would like to ask you about, how did you choose to act in the Spellbinder? I mean, how did you make it to the Spellbinder?
Well, I was 12 when I acted in Spellbinder, but actually I had been acting since I was 5. So I started very young, and this was sort of an accident. My mum took me to acting classes because I was not very good at sport. So she thought that maybe this would be a better match for my skill set.
Your mom had a good choice.
Yes, she saw it early on, so she took me to acting class, and then the class was attached to an agency, and I started to go for auditions, and very, very soon I became a working actor as a child, and I was on a couple of TV shows in Australia. So I'd been acting for about 5 or 6 years by the time Spellbinder came along.
That was the point that you said that mom chose an agency. How did it happen in Australia? Is that the method that they are choosing child
Well,
actresses?
at the time it probably was. She didn't actually know there was an agency attached. So when they first said, "Is it okay if we send Georgie to an audition?" My mum said no. And then they said, maybe it'd be nice for her to try. And she said, okay. But that was the process at the time. Always an agent who then speaks to a casting director, who then speaks to the producers of the TV show. So there's a lot of steps to go through.
So friends, the Georgie came to Sri Lanka, and she actually had known some of the fans will respond to her, but she had an amazing fan base here. She has discovered it after coming to Sri Lanka. How was the response?
Yeah, it's been very unexpected, very cool, so special. It's been a beautiful time. I've been here about 10 days, and I've received so much love and warmth from the Sri Lankan people. I found out 2 years ago that I had some fans here through Facebook. I started to get some Facebook messages. I think Spellbinder was recast about 2 years ago, 2021. and people started to write to me and say, "Are you Christine Reynolds?" And that was the first time I found out that I had fans.
Actually, Georgie, when we were in lockdown situation during the COVID,
yes,
the recast was there. Rupavahini telecast it again.
Yes.
So the people got to watch it again.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So.
And of course, during lockdown, you're at home. So. Yeah.
So basically, how did you? I mean, choose Sri Lanka to come back? Apart from the fans, why did you choose to come to Sri Lanka?
I've always wanted to come here. It's a beautiful country. I have a lot of friends who've traveled here, and they've told me about their wonderful experiences with the people, nature, history, culture. Of course, the food is amazing too. And it's always been a goal of mine, a dream of mine, to come to Sri Lanka and to meet a few fans. This was just a cherry on top, I suppose. Yeah.
So basically, when we talk about the Spellbinder, how was the experience? Because it was like adventure, mythological kind of a teleseries. So basically, being a child, you don't know much about myth or adventurous stuff. I mean, it's kind of a scientific also.
Yeah.
So basically, how did you cope with that, with the script and reading script, and you have to take down some notes. To practice?
Of course, yeah, lots of practice. My parents were always really supportive and helpful of learning my lines. This is something I was very practiced at learning with my mum always.
Yeah.
And I remember really loving the story. The story was so exciting to me.
Yeah.
I was actually a bit sad because Christine never went to the other world, right? so I didn't get to go with
Christine
Paul and Rihanna.
But Georgie wants to
Georgie wants to go to the parallel world. Yeah.
So how was the experience with the Spellbinders Rihanna?
Rihanna, she's so cool, right?
Yeah.
I loved her. I was a bit younger than the other kids. Obviously, I was the younger sister, and I really looked up to them, to all the other actors.
In the scene also, you are very excited. The Paul came and introduced the Rihanna to the young sister.
Yes.
She's excited.
She's excited, yeah. I mean, Georgie would be excited too if she met this strange woman from another world. I think so.
So basically, when Spellbinder telecast, in which year was it was telecast in Australia?
I think it was 1996.
1996.
Yeah, good question. I'm not exactly sure. I think it actually won a major award in 1996.
Right.
So it must
Australian award?
Australian award, yeah. I think it was Australian Film and Television Award.
Right. That's great.
Don't quote me. Something to do with young adult content, yeah.
Right.
And I think it won that award 96. So
96.
must have been telecast maybe 95.
96 actually, it's an important year for Sri Lanka too. You
Yes,
have won the
I
World
know,
Cup.
yes, yeah.
Beating Australia.
Yeah.
So are you a cricket fan or watching matches?
Like I said, I was never very good at sport, so that hasn't really changed. Yeah.
Our biggest enemy is Australian team at that time. But this team, we actually love the Australian team actually.
Okay, so we've made friends by now.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Georgie, another thing that I would like to ask you that so far you have traveled Sri Lanka, right?
I've been.
Which part?
Yeah, I've started. So I've been to the south. I went to Midigama, Ahangama, went to Galle, and obviously here in Colombo.
Right.
And I'm planning to travel to Kandy,
Right.
Sigiriya, and some other areas in the center. Yeah.
So the fans have responded you and welcomes you very well, and what it feels like to be a country that you never went, and this is the first time, as you said, Sri Lanka, and the Spellbinder, the teleseries was telecast way than 1996. But we saw the program in the early 2000s. So what it feels like to be a country like a tropical country where you have some fans. How it feels to you? It
feels incredible. I really can't explain it. It's been just so, I've been so warmly welcomed here, and the the message that I get from every fan is always just so pure, with so much love, and it's overwhelming, but in a really good way. Yeah, it's.
And Georgie, you said that you have now settled down in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Europe, what are the things that you are doing currently? I mean, you know that you are a singer and you are doing some production with your sister. You told that.
Yes.
And how it happens? And I mean, how the things are going in Europe? What are the projects that you are affiliated in?
Well, my main project is the duo with my sister, and we've been working on our album. It's in the.
Let's remind her also.
Sorry.
Let's remind her also her name.
Her name is Steph.
Ah, right.
Yes. And we're going to be doing a tour through Germany in April to promote and release our second album. So after I leave Sri Lanka, that'll be the next project that I'm working on.
Right, that's cool.
So it'll be all go with promotion and then some touring, some shows. Yeah.
With that, actually, we can't leave a singer alone without singing a song. So let's listen to a wonderful song of Georgie Fisher.
I bet you weren't always like this. You've seen better days, could guess how you slipped through. Maybe if I learn the truth, I see some of myself in you. What lays behind you and what led you here to fight your demons alone? Are you a brother or somebody's mother? I want you to know that I see you. Oh, I see you. Now we work hard for the money, won't part with it easily. You're a stranger, it's my Mercedes, justified. Say we know what the money will buy. What lays behind you and what led you here to fight your demons alone? Are you a brother or somebody's mother? I want you to know that I see you.
That was nice. And Georgie, another thing that I would like to ask that in Europe, how is the fan base? I mean, you are singing and you are doing some concerts and you are planning to tour in Germany. So how it feels to be in Europe? I mean, you are Australian citizen now. You have been in there for 10 years. How it feels to be in Germany?
I feel quite at home in Germany. It's a very beautiful place to be a musician. The German audiences are very engaged, and Berlin is a big creative city with lots of different creative disciplines. Always people around looking to collaborate on projects, which is why I feel so at home there.
Actually, how do you cope with the language? I mean, the Germans.
I have learned German. I speak it pretty well now.
That's great.
It is pretty cool. I never thought I could do it, so it's quite a cool skill to have. I didn't speak any German when I arrived, but I worked pretty hard at it. So
10 years seems to be a lot.
It's
lot time.
It's a long time. Yeah.
So have you learned some singular words?
I can say I won.
That's great. That's great.
It's my first one. So maybe you can teach me a couple more.
Sure. So and another thing is that in Australian, is there a system to? I mean, you acted almost 20 years ago in a teleseries that made hit in the world, Spellbinder. And how was the system when a child come to an acting stage? How was the system in Australia? How did it happen?
I don't know if I understand the question.
Actually, then the process of acting into acting.
As a child?
As a child, yes. You must be 12 years old or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
So basically, you have to have the permission of the parents.
Of course, yeah.
And how does it happen? The system.
Well, it's just like there's the agency puts children forward to the casting director, and there need to be contracts in place, which of course need to be signed by the parent or guardian.
Right.
And
You've been paid.
Yes, I was paid, but I was not able to access the money until I was 18. That's how it works.
That's the part.
That's
right.
the point. Okay, so it's I am paid in my own name, and then my parents are the guardians of that until you become of age. That's how it works. Yeah.
So that's interesting. The lots of responsibilities in that too, right?
Of course, yeah, and I really appreciate the support of both of my parents at that time. Because it can obviously be difficult for a child to be in the spotlight, and I think they really need to have strong support systems, and I really did have that from my parents and from all the producers and the directors that I ever worked with. Everybody really made the effort to look after me and protect me, and I appreciate that very much.
That's great. Fans, of course, we are talking with the Spellbinder Star Georgie Fisher, and another thing that important is that Georgie, that Spellbinder was a science fiction. Yeah, and a mythological teledrama. And how did you study about that? I mean, you have the script, but to get an idea about the whole script is a must. You can't expect someone to tell you the story, but you have to read it. For the first time, what did it came to your mind after reading the story? How was it feels?
Well, I think the story is actually quite a political and social comment, right? So I think at the time I didn't really get it, and that's why I think it's an interesting show, because it's really cool and fun for kids, but you can watch it as an adult and get a lot out of it as well, because the story is quite complex. So I think as a child I was more just, I don't know, I thought the suits were cool. But looking back at it now, I can see that the show was really quite clever. And
the electric sparks and all the stuff, that is cool
fun,
stuff,
right?
as a child. But when you look at as an adult, it has a science, right?
Yeah, it's science and it's social stuff. I think some of the issues that the show was mentioning back in the 90s are maybe even more amplified today. There's a lot of parallels with the real world, I think.
And how was it like to be Ryan Reynolds' daughter, a handsome scientist?
Handsome scientist was great. I remember Andrew McFarlane, the actor who played my dad. He was always very kind to me. I remember us playing cards together. Is he
still in acting
caravan?
Ever?
Yeah, he's still a working actor in Australia.
Yeah. So basically in Australia, Hugh Jackman is also
Hugh Jackman is Australian too. Yeah.
Have you met him?
Wolverine. No, unfortunately not. I'd love to meet Hugh Jackman.
Actually.
Have you? No. Maybe he'll come over to Sri Lanka.
Would love to.
Yeah,
would love to meet him. Because Hugh is one of my favorite actors. Wolverine.
He seems like a really nice guy too.
Cool guy,
doesn't he? Yeah.
Plays cricket a lot.
Yeah, cool. There you go. That's why you like him.
Yeah, and also Shane Warne and him playing cricket at the Ashes, beginning of the Ashes before Shane Warne passed away. Yes. And Georgie, we are coming to end of the discussion actually, but I would like to ask about so far you have traveled down south area in Sri Lanka. What are your plans upcoming days in Sri Lanka?
We're going to head to the centre, so we'll go to Kandy, your hometown.
My hometown. We are welcoming you.
Yes, thank you. So that'll be the next stop, and then actually back to Colombo again. Right. But we'll go up north to Sigiriya. Sigiriya. How do I pronounce it properly?
Sigiriya.
Sigiriya. Yeah? It's better? Yeah, okay, better. Thank you. Yes, and some other areas around there. We have a little tour booked, so we'll be travelling around as much as we can.
Kandy is actually the hill capital of Sri Lanka.
Beautiful.
The central province. We have three cities, Matale, Kandy, and Morelia. And the Kandy is the capital of the central province.
Okay.
You'll have a good time.
Can't wait.
For the last question, I would like to ask, you're traveling to Kandy, and is there any possibility to meet Candy fans, or are you preparing any event?
I would love to. I
Yeah.
am trying. I'm
Yeah.
working on it. I don't have anything that I can announce at this point.
Yeah.
But I have had a lot of messages from fans asking if I'm going to be in Candy.
Yeah.
And I would love to organize an event. So as soon as I do have details about that, I'm going to post about it on my Facebook and Instagram pages.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Fans in Candy, just follow Georgie Fisher's social media platform, and she will inform the way how it happens. So dear friends, we are going to end the program. Actually, Georgie, thank you for being in the Lakecast Digital Studios. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for
So
having me.
I hope you all have a great time. I know you do had a great time, but in the future you'll have a great time in Candy and all the other places.
Thank you, Nalaka.
And also our fans will make your trip a better.
They're already making it amazing.
So fans, it's end up here. So we are going to finish our show DN one-on-one program. We'll hope to see you from another interesting program. Thank you very much.